Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 209 Sports Talk. This is a special edition of 209 Sports as we welcome in head coach of the University of Pacific baseball team. He is Coach Mike New. Coach, thank you very much for joining us, and what a great way to kind of get ready for baseball is in the air finally. We're ready for some fall ball. I'm sure you do fall ball, but of course now that baseball is going to be official, what's the excitement level right now?
Yeah, I think it's pretty high. We're leaving on Thursday to go down to San Diego for our first road trip of the year, first games of the year, and I think everybody's pretty excited, as is every program in the country right now. There's everybody has high expectations and feeling good. I think it's good. It's exciting. So I think everybody's kind of ready to get going. Sick of practicing and playing inter squads every single day. It's good to see another jersey and get a chance to compete.
Let's go ahead and start off with the very first series. San Diego State going down there, gonna enjoy some sunshine, but at the same, probably getting away from this weather lately. And what's the feeling as you've have you had much time to scout San Diego State right now?
Yeah, we have a little bit. We're trying to just kind of get a feel for what their what their pitchers look like and kind of what they like to do offensively and defensively. I think at the end of the day, you're going to have your scouting reports and you're going to have an idea what they like to do. But we got to play our game and play to our strengths. I think if we play well, we'll have a chance to win the game. So we're trying to just focus on doing a great job and executing our game plan, and if we do that, we feel like we're in a great position to win.
Head coach Mike New for University of Pacific Tigers baseball joins us, and this is you're leading into your second year. And what has been the biggest transition now that you've got out of year one? What's the biggest thing that you've learned from year one now moving into year two?
Yeah, I got a feel for the league and kind of what the other teams like to do. What we have to be able to defend. I think obviously you inherit a roster of guys that hey, now we've got to bring in some of our guys that we feel like have filled up some holes. We had some holes in our roster. I think there's no question about that. Anybody can look at that, and we had to get better pitching. We had to get better defensively, and we had to continue to improve offensively. So I think we've cleaned up some of those holes that we had, and we just got to keep improving. We got to learn to be a team. Now that we're in year two of this, it's a different culture. In the past, I think guys kind of understand the expectations a little bit, what we're trying to do, and we understand the league a little bit better. We should be a little bit more prepared to have some success, but at the end of the day, it's baseball. You got to avoid some injuries. There's a lot of things that are out of your control. We got to just try to do the best we can to control what we can control, and if we do that, we feel like we should be prepared to have success.
You have a big roster change that's happening this season, and you lost a lot of seniors. Some of them to the draft, some of them have moved on because of school situations. Maybe they were, it's to be expected. You have a brand new coach. You want to try at least have it the first year, see what happens. But what has this roster been like since you lost, especially with the seniors? You lost your second baseman, you lost your right fielder, you lost your catcher, you lost a few starting pitchers. This has been a real big time transitioning, and maybe it actually helps you in some ways.
Yeah, I think it can. We did lose a lot. When you look at our team, I think we have some talent, and I think overall we are more talented than we were last year, but we don't have a lot of experience. We're going to play a lot of guys that have not played a lot of Division One baseball games. We're very inexperienced on the mound. We return some players, but we don't return a lot of guys that have pitched a lot of significant innings. We return some position players, but we're going to be starting a lot of guys that haven't played a lot of Division One baseball. So even though we are, I think overall covered up some holes and are in a better position, we're still inexperienced. And it's going to maybe take us some time to kind of get that flow and that culture and just kind of get everything going. But hopefully, when we do, we'll be more prepared to win some games.
Last year, you had a few freshman players that did a great job. Ricky Reynoso came in and started for you for a little while. You also had a surprise. Kevin Sondry
Mm-hmm.
was in there as a shortstop, played very, very well for you guys as well. Are there any kind of hidden gems like that that we're going to be looking forward to this season that you're willing to divulge?
I hope so. It's hard to tell. We are going to play, guys that are inexperienced. We've moved Kevin Sondry over to third base. We feel like he's going to do a good job for us over there. We have a junior college shortstop in Matt Tarantino that has played really well in the fall, and we hope he can continue to do that. for us this year. He had a great year, 2 years at a junior college in Moran. We're gonna, second base. We'll platoon that position a little bit with a freshman and the JC transfer. We got Verlin back at first base. Catcher's gonna be a platoon with a couple freshmen. That we hope can do well for us, and then our outfield. A lot of it comes back. With Danny Mayer and Lucas Halstead, and we'll kind of, center field, we'll platoon some guys there. So, but we don't have a lot of guys that have experience, but I think we do, between all those guys, and some guys on the bench that are going to get opportunities. We're going to have some guys coming off the bench that we're going to play and see who steps up, and hopefully we can find a rhythm with some guys versus right-handed pitching versus left-handed pitching. And we feel like we can do that, but we do need some guys to step up.
We have an opportunity to talk with Lucas Halstead quite often. He was doing a radio show here. Now Danny Mayer and McKay Kosian are both doing a radio show here on Pacific Tiger Radio. And so I got an opportunity to really get to know, especially Lucas and Jordan Gonzalez as well. And both those guys are fantastic people too, individually, that I got the chance to know. And I talked a little bit with him about Danny Mayer. And he's on a 34-game on-base streak and 22-game hitting streak. And he also did not let me forget that even he's on a 14-game hit streak right now. So those two guys, it sounds like those two, between Danny and Lucas, those two guys are going to be a big part of the middle of your lineup. Who else, maybe Nate Verlin or somebody like that, who else is looking to have a big year?
Yeah, I think those two guys definitely are going to hit in the middle of the order. We're going to, hope that they can produce like they did last year and hopefully even better. They should be more confident. They've been through the year, been through a full year and had some success. Nate Verlin for sure. He'll be right there in the middle of the order. And then, I think, between Sondre coming back, Matt Tarantino and Ryan Schultz, both transferred from junior colleges. They're going to get a lot of opportunities right away, and we feel like that can hopefully, kind of fill the middle of our order. And then we'll have some guys that are, toward the bottom that we hope can produce. Jimmy Boris is going to be in there, and we hope that he can execute. He's got some speed. He can short game and kind of turn the lineup over toward the bottom. I think he'll do a good job. He played good defense for us last year and was hot until he got injured. So if he can stay healthy, he definitely has a chance to help us. So it'll be interesting. I think our lineup is a little bit more veteran as far as just age goes, but our experience is still a little bit limited. So, we have a chance. That's probably our most dynamic part of our team is offensively. We have a chance to hit for some power, and we have a chance to put some pressure on some weaker pitchers, and that's what we hope to do. Maybe to some teams' bullpens, and on Sunday we can attack them a little bit offensively and take some pressure off of our pitching, who, with our pitching is a little bit more inexperienced than most teams.
You talk a little bit about the junior college level, and I've seen you over at Delta, one of our local JC level programs, the Delta Mustangs. And what is your connection to Reed Peters, and how much do you know about him? And then how much is that also a scouting outlook as well when you kind of go head over there and catch a few games over there?
Yeah, I've known Reed for a long time. When I coached at Dalwo Valley College, he was coaching at Delta. He does a great job. I think they have one of the best, if not the best, junior college program in all of California. So we definitely try to get over there and see their guys as much as possible. I talk to Reed a lot and try to get his take on his guys and who can help us. Unfortunately, it's not always a fit. There's academic, deals that I think there's some guys on their team that I would love to have, but it's just not an academic fit for us. And then it's got to be a financial fit too. So I think we have recruited a quite a few of their guys, over the past couple of years. It's just a matter of it's going to be a fit for us. But I would love to get one or two of their guys every year. And I definitely talk to Reed, and even if it's not about one of his players, they're playing in a good conference there against a lot of good players. I try to get his take on who they're playing against and what he thinks, and he does a great job giving me a good scouting report, on guys and what he thinks. And I think it's a great relationship that we have, and I always want to see them do well and succeed. And they have a couple of our former players over there now too, who maybe for whatever reason it wasn't a fit, and they're over there. Maybe they can come back to us or go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, Dylan Robertson's over there now, and FDBS is over there. It's hard for me to say his name. It's Phineas Delbonte Smith, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
is over there as well. So I think he actually played the game against Mission Valley on Saturday. So he did a good job, of course, seeing him being able to pitch, seeing his style once again. It was kind of almost surreal seeing him not in a Tiger uniform. But I know you used him quite a bit last year, so I know he's going to do very well over there for the Delta program.
Yeah, definitely. No, he's done a good job. We wish we had him still this year. I think he'd help our staff, but he's doing a good job over there.
We're with head coach Mike New, University of Pacific men's baseball team. And coach, as we get closer to the season, we talked about the JC level. You know that goes into the Big Eight conference. The WCC conference is no joke as well. You got a chance to see BYU, Gonzaga, LMU. A lot of great pitching staffs came from St. Mary's. Some of them have been drafted, so kind of a good thing for you in some ways. But what have you learned about the WCC, and what does it prepare you as you kind of started making up this schedule for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, you're just kind of learning, what coaches like to do, what their strategies are, what do they like to do offensively, what do they like to do defensively. So you're just kind of accumulating that information. I think specifically, you're right. I mean, there were some really good pitchers in the league. I think, four of the best starting pitchers were on the, four teams that made it to the WCC tournament, which is, not really a surprise that you have to be able to pitch and play defense to have a successful run. I mean, that's at any level, really, but I think the teams that were there last year and the teams that went to regionals, did a little better job of that than the other teams, so we have to take that next step. We have to pitch a little bit better. We have to have a couple guys step up and be able to dominate on the weekends or give us a chance to at least win on the weekends. And we got to clean up our defense enough to where they can, support our pitching, because, we're not always going to have huge strikeout guys. We just got to be able to play defense and suffocate teams a little bit defensively by just making every single play and making some great plays and allowing our pitching, to compete in the zone and not feel like they have to strike everybody out. And I think we've done a better job of creating a roster that can do that. So I would look for us to have much improved defense, much improved pitching, still lean on our hitting a little bit, which isn't always what you'd rather lean on your pitching and defense. It gives you a better chance to win or be in every game. But we are going to lean on our hitting a little bit more because we're just more veteran in that area and we're just a little bit more physical and better, from our team perspective there. So we're going to lean on our hitting to carry us at times. It's not always the greatest recipe ever because, you can run into an arm that can mow you down. But I think we will be improved in the other two areas as well.
Talk a little bit about Will Leiden. He's going to be your senior starter. He's going to be the guy that you're going to be probably leaning on quite a bit this season as a starting pitcher. What are you expecting from him as to basically have that senior leadership in that pitching rotation?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Will. He's a senior. He's had some success. He hasn't had the highest level of success. I think we're challenging him to take that next step a little bit and be able to win some more games on the weekend for us. I think he's done a great job in the fall. I think he's continued to develop. He competes. He works hard. I think he's a great leader just by the way he goes about his business. And we're going to expect him to, go out there on Saturdays and give us a chance to win every single time out. We moved him from Friday to Saturday. It's a pivotal game in the weekend. We feel like he's the right guy for the job, and we're really excited about rolling him out there every Saturday.
Will Leiden has also had a little bit of tough luck. I believe it was against USF where he was in San Francisco, pitched nearly a complete game and lost 2-1. I mean, he's just had the unfortunate success, but it's been unsuccessful in his record wise. But he's been a great pitcher for you for especially last year. It was your first year. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Will's a guy. He is going to rely on his defense a little bit. We made a couple key errors in that game. We've done that a little bit. But hey, I mean, we tell Will too. You just got to be tougher than that and make pitches and not let it snowball on you. So I think we've raised the expectations a little bit.
Talk a little bit about Danny Mayer. He was drafted pretty late in the rounds. I believe it was 38th round to the Minnesota Twins, and he decided to not go with that route and wanted to stay here for one more year at Pacific. How much do you think he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder being drafted that low, considering of the success he had last season?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I think Danny, he last year was a breakout year for him. Statistically, he didn't have a great freshman and sophomore year. So he got on the radar with scouts a little bit late. But he still, didn't get drafted, super high, decided to come back, which is great for us. I think it's an opportunity for him to continue to develop as a hitter and a defender. And, and he can go out, to professional baseball this year and really feel prepared. So I think it worked out, and I hope he does have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. I mean, I think that's a good way to play this game. You got to find something to kind of burn that fire for your work and your desire to get better and compete. So, yeah, I mean, I think he should have a little bit of that, and I hope he does. And it'll be a good year for him to, help carry this team a little bit and hopefully get us to the conference tournament, which is our goal.
What we're going to do is we're going to take a small break. When we come back, we're going to get a little bit more head coach Mike New, University of Pacific men's baseball team, right here on Pacific Tiger Radio Network, 91.9 FM, and on the 209 Sports YouTube channel. What's that? What's going on right now, and we'll do it. We'll do it next Tuesday as well. We'll that's why I threw it out there live today, right now, and then I'll repost it again when I have a better opportunity to say truly where we're at on the radio and stuff like that. So. You did in 30 seconds. Cool. All right. Welcome back to 209 Sports Talk here on the 209 Sports YouTube channel and on Pacific Tiger Radio Network, 91.9 FM. I am JD Jeff Dominic. This is a special edition because we have none other than head coach, University of Pacific Tigers men's baseball team, Mike New. Once again, thank you very much, Coach New, for taking some time out of, I know what is a busy, very busy schedule as you have the season rapidly approaching this weekend.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
For sure. And so, as we kind of alluded to as we went to break, I want to bring in, talk about a little bit about what Gio Brusa, drafted in the 6th round, San Francisco Giants, dream come true in a lot of aspects. Lifelong Giants fan, all this other stuff. Talk a little bit about him, as you were only really able to coach him for 1 year, but probably another breakout season for another player that unfortunately won't be here this year, but he had a great season last year.
Yeah, I mean, he had an unbelievable year. I mean, I think he started off a little slow. I know he was hampered by injuries a lot, early, in his first 3 years, and he stayed healthy last year. He really finished up the year strong. Had his best year of his career, and he was rewarded by getting drafted, pretty high there by the Giants as a senior, and started off pro ball really well. Did a good job. I think he made the All-Star team. Won the home run derby, in the league, and he got promoted. I think even a couple times late in the year. So, hopefully he starts off, well again this year, and we're following him. He still comes out and works out and everything, and he's just a great guy, for our program. So we're just really happy for him, and it was, fun to watch him play, even though I only got to see him for that year. He did a really nice job for us and really helped get us to that point where we were, competing for the conference tournament even to the last weekend.
You talked a little bit about the conference. You need to be in the top 4. You were there into the last weekend. I remember I was watching it very closely, whether I was broadcasting on the W or if I was just happened to be as a spectator covering the Tigers, and it was all the way until last weekend. what do you feel that this is possibility of going into the top four this year? Considering when even though you don't know really truly the teams that you're going to be facing as far as roster wise, you know the teams that you'll be playing, but what is that feeling as you kind of head into the top four? You always talked about the top four.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's got to be our expectation every year. I mean, that gives us a chance to get to the NCAA tournament, get to a regional, and and we have to have that goal for every year. I think if that's not our goal, I don't understand what we're really doing out here. So that was our goal last year as well. We knew as coaches it would be a little bit of a developmental year because we were limited with the roster. We were thin. We didn't have a full 35-man roster. I think toward the end of the year, we only had about 27 on our total roster. So, we were trying to develop, but we were also trying to win for the seniors last year. Gio and JJ Wagner and all those guys. They did such a nice job competing, and it was really cool to see. That their effort level and what they did into that season got us to that position late in the year because honestly, it was kind of a long shot for us last year. We were just limited in defensively and pitching, and our guys did a great job competing. So we want to build on that, and I think they kind of set the precedent a little bit of, where we want to be. This is the level we got to compete. This is what our program has to be, and now we have to take the next step and get there. And we've never been to that before, and we fully anticipate on being there. I mean, there's so many variables like we talked about before with, injuries and things outside of your control, but we feel like there's really no reason why we shouldn't be in that this year and compete to get to a regional, and that'd be a lot of fun for our program and for our guys and for our older guys especially.
You talked a little bit about the program, and people that follow the program know who the starters were last year, and a lot of them were seniors. How much can you divulge into what the roster may look like this season? Because we know that right field is kind of was open, well, would technically be open as of last year. Gio was filling that spot for a very long time. JP Akel, catcher, no longer there, seniored out. Third base is going to be wide open. JJ Wagner, no longer there. You kind of mentioned Kevin Sondre is going to be over there. How's he doing in his health? Because I know he had off-season shoulder surgery, but I've heard only great things about his recovery. And then, of course, that opens up second base. That also means that shortstop is now opened up.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, kind of starting from backward. I mean, yeah, Kevin Sondre did have surgery. He's supposed to get cleared 100% tomorrow. He's been limited as far as what he can do diving, but he's been playing all our inter squad. He's been doing a great job. He definitely has a full year under his belt on the left side of the infield. And he did a nice job for us last year, and we just kind of slung him into that spot. And he competed with the bat. He competed. I thought he got better as the year went on. So pushing him over to third now with Matt Tarantino as our shortstop as a junior college transfer. He was first team all conference as a JC player for 2 years in a row. Did a really nice job for them. He gives us probably a pretty solid left side of the infield. Yeah, you're right. Second base. I mean, we lose Mejia, and he played there almost every game. Now we're going to kind of have Nick Awasa, who's a freshman from Jesuit High School, is going to be playing over there, along with Ryan Schlach, who's a JC transfer from College of Marin, who's first team All Conference 2 years in a row there. So we'll have those two guys. Ryan also pitches. So, we're going to have to kind of monitor his throwing and be able to make sure he can, handle the workload of playing a position and pitching. Nate Berlin's pretty locked in at first. He's done a great job. I mean, he was a good player for us last year. I think he's continued to improve defensively. He swung the bat well for us, and we want him to continue to improve there. Behind the plate, we have Joey Mejia, Lou's brother, who was a sophomore this year. He was injured for a lot of the year last year. I think he's done a nice job developing, doing a great job receiving our guys. And then we have some freshmen. We have James Free, who's from Damien High School down in Southern California, who's going to catch. He's a switch hitter. He's got a chance to hit a little bit. He's definitely improved defensively and done a nice job. He's going to catch some for us. And Joey Reiherd from Monta Vista High School in Danville, who's a converted catcher. He played third base in high school. He's converted. He's got a great arm. He's got some power. He's going to be in the mix for us there too. So we're going to kind of have three guys that could, potentially help us behind the plate. But a lot of them don't have a ton of experience. But we've been working really hard to get them comfortable with our pitchers, working hard with them just on their receiving and blocking skills. And I feel confident that we should be able to compete with those guys, but it's going to be a little bit of a learning on the fly. Right field, Lucas Halstead is we've had him out in right field. He DH'd for us a lot last year. He played some outfield. We'll slide him in there, but we have a lot of options, out there. We got Blake Berry who played quite a bit for us last year. We got McKay Koisian who's been injured for a lot of the fall, but played some outfield for us. He's a senior. If he can stay healthy, he's got an opportunity to play out there as well. And then we got Ryan Robards, who's a freshman outfielder from Elk Grove. Who did a really nice job for Elk Grove last year, and he's had a good fall for us as well. So, and he's been a little banged up too. So we've got some guys in there, but we have some older guys, and we have a chance to start, 2 or 3 seniors in the outfield, along with maybe a junior, and then maybe mix in a freshman here and there and see how they do. As we get some guys some experience early on. I think the first 2 or 3 weeks we gotta play some guys and get some guys some experience and get them comfortable playing the game, and then I think some guys will emerge from there. We hope so.
Your outfield there's a plethora of outfielders for you this year that you can pick from. Lucas Halstead, as you mentioned, playing right. Jimmy Boris, Blake Berry. You also have McKay, as you were talking about, and of course Danny Mayer. I think Danny's probably going to stay in the left field position and pretty much be locked in as he improves his fielding as well. I know that he's been really focused on that. I mean, the power numbers are there. We think that he's going to be, if he has a duplicate season of what he did last year, he'll be just fine. Even if it's even a little bit lower or even higher, which would be fantastic. But how do you keep everybody in that rotation? Is it a pitching matchup as you look at McKay, Jimmy, and Blake? Is it a and trying to figure out, okay, well, I can put McKay in right because I know he played some right field as well for you. Jimmy and Blake have been mostly in the center field position. Is it a pitching matchup or is it a field matchup? Is it who's hot right now? How are you going to really kind of view that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of a combination of all the things you said. I mean, we're gonna we may face a left-handed pitcher, and we want to get the right-handed bats in there a little bit more. Blake being a right-handed hitter, we may match him more against the left-handed pitching, and then you got Jimmy as a left-handed hitter, and we may match him more up early on against the right-handed pitching. Now, if somebody emerges and is really hot and swinging the bat well, we may keep them in the lineup a little bit more. We also have Keaton Glover, who's a freshman who plays, solid defense in the outfield. He's maybe a little behind with the bat, but he can really run and he can really throw. So we have him as a late inning option, to come in to play center field or one of the corners as a defender or to pinch run. And he could emerge too, So all those guys are in the mix. And then I think, like you said, just what field we're playing at. Hey, are we playing in a smaller park? Are we playing in a deader park? Can we afford to maybe play, Lucas and Danny on both corners, who are, I think they're doing a better job defending, but they're definitely not 2 center fielders. They're corner guys through and through, and they're not going to have the range that some of the other guys are going to have. Are we playing in a big park? Are we late in the game? Do we have to make some moves, in order to cover some ground out there? And we're able to do that more this year with some of our personnel. So we just got to do a good job kind of figuring out, hey, what's the pitching matchup? What's the conditions? Who's hot? Who's swinging the bat well? And just trying to really manage the game and figure out, what gives us our best chance to win. And I think that's just got to be your focus as a coach is, hey, we're trying to win games. What gives us the best chance? Who's healthy? Who's hot? What's the conditions? What's our matchup? And let's just try to give ourselves the best percentage chance to win a game. And we'll talk a lot about that as we go through it. And we hope some guys emerge. We really hope some guys step up and emerge as players that are going to come out there and compete for you every day and really put a lot of pressure on the other team. And if we do that, we'll be in great shape.
We're talking with head coach Mike New, University of Pacific men's baseball team. We got San Diego State this weekend. The next time we see you is Cal Poly, and I remember watching the Cal Poly series. How much are these guys ready to get back at Cal Poly? This time it's on right here at Klein Family Field. How much are they looking forward to that series coming up next weekend?
Yeah, I mean, we got swept there last year. I mean, we opened the year there. We got swept 4 games. We had an opportunity, a couple times in some of those games, and we got beat up a little bit in a couple of them too. So yeah, I mean, you definitely like to get play them again. We play them at home. We feel like we match up a little bit better. They do a great job. Their coaching staff does an outstanding job. They execute. They play hard. They get good players. So I mean, they're as good as anybody on the West Coast from a coaching perspective, and that's why it's so good for us to play them. It's a great opportunity for us to learn, where our weaknesses and where our holes are because they will expose you. And then, just like you said, you want to get a chance to beat a good team and play a team at home. We struggled against them last year. There's no mistake. I think we're more equipped to beat them this year, and we would love to come. I don't look at it I don't look at it as a revenge series at all. I don't forget that it was not a great weekend. It's not one you want to remember, but I think we're playing them the same way we play everybody. We want to win. We want to go out there and leave everything we have on the field for every inning. We want to win every pitch, compete every game. So I don't look at it any differently, but I mean I do remember that it wasn't the finest weekend of my baseball career, So starting off the year 0-4 and having a couple of rough ones is tough, but we are in better shape this year, So it'll be fun. It's a great matchup. I look forward to playing those guys. They do an outstanding job, so it'll be good for us.
You look at the schedule coming up this season, and it looks like you have quite a few more games on the road versus at home. What was the outlook on that, and what kind of positives can you bring from something like that as you look to build this team, and what are you looking for?
Yeah, we do play more road games. I think with our with our schedule, 10 teams in the conference, every other year you're going to be a little bit more on the road, just because you have you're going to have 5 road series, 4 home series, or opposite. This year we happen to have 5 road series, and then it's a little bit more just because USF was building their stadium, so we flipped back to play them on the road. So we have a little bit more just kind of by chance more road games. Which hey, it is what it is. Next year we'll be at home a little bit more. This year we're just gonna have to be a little more battle tested on the road. We're gonna have to do a good job preparing, getting rest, taking care of our bodies because it is a little tougher to travel and be prepared to play games. And you're playing at a different site, so it's a great opportunity for us to kind of build some toughness in there and build some character as we go and really do a good job kind of taking care of ourselves. But next year we'll be at home a little bit more, and that's always nice. But it is what it is for this year. It'll be good opportunities for us to show a little toughness.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you once again for joining us today as we let you get out of here. I know you got a busy schedule because you're ready to get the rosters all set up and everything's all looking forward to. As I overheard you talking as you were coming in here today, so I know that there's a lot of things to get planned out before you head off in 3 days. So good luck against San Diego State, and I'll be watching that as easy as I can, or as much as I can, because I know that I still got to find out the stream that they're going to have everything on. But good luck in San Diego, and can't wait to see you on Friday against Cal Poly.
Perfect. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it, John.
Thank you very much. So we're going to go ahead and let you go back to the regularly scheduled programming. When we come back, we will have don't forget Tuesdays are full of a lot of fresh programming. Tuesdays with Maury will be on at 5 p.m. Ray Knows Cars at 3 p.m. So plenty of things going right here on Pacific Tiger Radio. Once again, I'm Jeff Domick. For everybody at the Pacific Tiger Athletic Department, thank you all very much. The Communications Department, thank you all as well. This is JD Jeff Domick for 209 Sports. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your day.
Perfect. Yeah, Jeff, Bill.
What?
There's only video for the Friday game, sadly.
None? Yeah.
Just Friday. Audio for the other two. They said they give me the links tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll still be tuning in. Don't bother me any.
It's hard to stick a standing camera in the front box. You think like this day and age that would be